This field represents big moments, big challenges, and the need for a team you can trust.
At Holloway and Hulling, we understand what's at stake. We are your advocates in Missoula and Western Montana.
We provide clear, result-driven counsel for criminal defense and personal injury cases.
Our new downtown office is where we turn that strategy into action.
Holloway and Hulling, your advocates for justice and a proud Griz sponsor.
Thinking about selling your home in Missoula? Here's the truth. Buyers are still out there, but they're being picky. That means how you market your home matters more than ever. I'm Ty Hobbs with Hobbs Homes at Keller Williams, and my job is to make sure your listing stands out. From strategic pricing to professional marketing, stunning photography, and targeted advertising, I'll position your home to attract the right buyers and get you the best price possible. In today's market, it's not just about putting a sign in the yard, it's about telling your home story, creating urgency, and negotiating every dollar in your favor. If you've been on the fence about selling, now's the time to talk strategy. Let's see what your home could sell for and how we can make it happen.
Yo, Tara, what up, E?
What's going on? Man, those are some nice medals.
Yeah, man, these are hard to come by.
Yeah, well, I've got 2 of them.
Well, that's nothing like going to March Madness, though.
We did go to a national championship.
Okay, guys, whatever. Let's just get on the Montana party bus and head over to Press Box for lunch.
Yo.
Nuanez now and Skyline Sports, covering Montana athletics and the Big Sky Conference better than anybody. The Montana Party Bus and the Press Box are also proud supporters of Montana athletes.
Hey, cheers to you guys, man. Cheers to Montana. Cheers to chasing more championships.
You just relaxing in Hawaii or what, bro?
Well, everything is great in Grizzland. We're just kicking the hell out of opponents. I mean, what's there to be upset about? I'm just relaxing in the land of our Uso, Ah Yat, and all the other brothers on the team. That's what we're doing. This is an ode to them. Nice, relaxing weekend that I had. So that's what I'm doing.
This is a great segue because Montana had a really interesting and cool pipeline to Hawaii in the late 80s through like the mid 90s. Part of that was because Tommy Lee was the offensive coordinator there for a while, right? And that's what led them to getting guys like Brian Ayat, who's Keali'i's father, Raul Pacheco. They had some, Randon Akiona, they had some good Hawaiians from back then. So completely non-Grizz related question, because we're talking about the late 80s and early 90s now. Okay. You're a guy that likes the NBA. You're a guy that likes it. You love the NFL. You like pro sports. You like college sports, all of the above.
All sports, yeah.
Watching the NBA,
yeah.
Watching the NFL, there is just no question in my mind that it is so much better than it was 30 years ago. It's like unfathomably better, right?
The athletes.
My question for you here is this, though. Watching old school college football and watching new school college football does not look better to me at all. I think that there's more diversity in the play calling and stuff, but there's nobody like those old school college football beasts. You know, like the Michael Irvin stuff from the late 80s. I mean, all the way through. Eddie George in the mid 90s. What say you? Am I on or off here when I think that college football is the one, at least aesthetically to me, is not visibly tremendously better like other sports?
Yeah, I'll take this off here and get in the out of character, in character, out of character. I'm always in character, I guess. What I think is the issue with what you're explaining is, like, for NBA, the rules completely changed from what they were. So like they've made it like a lot more open so that athletes could do what they do best.
Sure.
Where I think like college football has been more or less an open game for the longest time. Whether it's everything that they're doing now is more or less revision of what they did before. Like the RPO game is basically the triple option, except for it's spread out further.
No doubt, right?
So like, and the field is the same size. It's always been the same size. I mean, I think the athletes are still like not professional level athletes. I mean, they've gotten better over time, and you have guys are always getting bigger, faster, stronger. But I think, you're still dealing with kids. Whereas like the NBA, you had these rules that were like meant to just clog up the game. Right. And now those don't exist. And so athletes can be their maximum ability. And so you have guys like LeBron James and Amen Thompson and like all these athletes in the NBA can just do what they do.
Totally.
So
And then in the old school, like a guy like Steph Curry just would have died because they just would have thrown him on
yes,
the ground relentlessly until he just quit.
yeah,
But then in the modern game, he can stay up, right? What I want to go back though, what you said though, I think that's the thing is they are kids now still. When you
yeah.
go back and watch those 80s and 90s teams, though, some of those guys are grown ass men.
Well,
That's the part that's different to me is, and it goes back to our point about the Grizz offensive line and stuff like that too. Like there's just not a JD Quinn or like a Colin Dow walking around for the Grizz or otherwise. I think there's probably some in the SEC. It's just wild to me how much more like the physical maturation and also just like the irreverent behavior existed 30 years ago compared to now.
yeah. Well, guys also stayed in college longer back then,
True.
right? So you had like, fifth year seniors before going to the NFL, but there's still beasts. Who's the guy on the Eagles who returned the kickback for a touchdown with
Jordan
Jordan
Davis.
Davis?
Yeah.
The fastest human that they've ever recorded at over 300 pounds. He was running like 19 miles an hour. Like,
One of the girls I work with at ESPN, she asked me, she said, how much does the guy who returned the touchdown for the Eagles weigh? I said, he weighs like 360 pounds. And she's like, how is he so
yeah.
fast? And I was like, everybody's asking, how is this guy so
It's
fast?
impossible. Also, I mean, amazing. Also, the worst beat you could ever have, possibly for all you gamblers out there. If
My
you had
God.
Rams plus 3.5, and all they have to do is like miss the field, they just have to miss the field goal. It's fine. And they block it and return it for a touchdown for you to lose with no time left. That is an advertisement for never gamble on the NFL.
Dude. So you know me, I don't have a lot of sports fandom left. I'm a huge fan of sports, but I don't have a lot of sports fandom left. But I gravitate towards now my cheering and booing, symbolically or whatever, when I'm sitting in my house, what I'm rooting for is my bets, right? And on Sunday, I had the Rams plus 3.5, and
Oh.
I had the Packers paired with the Packers in a teased it down to 2.5.
Oh,
And I also had the Bucks. So in the span of
yeah.
15 minutes, I went from lighting my ticket on fire to lighting my house on fire. But
Yeah.
I somehow won the Bucks game, but it didn't matter because it was a three-part parlay, and I lost it all in the span of 2 blocked kicks and
Well,
a game-winning field goal.
the Bucks were -7 and they were up 6, okay? And they're going to kick a field goal to go up 9 with like a minute left. So all they have to do is make the field goal. And that gets blocked and returned for a touchdown. And then they go back and score to win by 2, but you lose the bet on that. 5 minutes before that was the Eagles one. It's just absolutely crazy.
It's crazy,
like,
man.
yeah.
The statistical improbability or perhaps even impossibility of 3 kicks getting blocked and or made in that short amount of time in one NFL. I think it's impossible. I think it's actually impossible what we saw.
Yeah. If you ever wanted to believe that you're on the Truman Show, just have a bet of Bucks and Rams and have that happen to you, and then did you be standing in your kitchen and just like looking out the window like that Pablo Escobar meme? That was me on Sunday.
100%.
So, kids, don't gamble. Just don't gamble.
Just don't gamble. Anyways,
Hold on, but it was Poop Town is what it was. Just
okay. In your estimation, what got better, what got worse for the Grizz, or was the performance on Saturday? I guess how much did the performance on Saturday be influenced by the opponent that they played? Where are you at with the strides they made forward and or not?
Yeah, the opponent got worse. Indiana State is shit. Larry Bird ain't walking through that door, right? Yeah. He would have been the best player on their team on Saturday.
Here's a great stat for you. This is how you know they don't give a fuck about football. They've had the same coach for 9 years and he's won 26 games. He's approaching 100 games without even winning 1/3 of them. Yeah, great, fun interview or whatever, but like that's how you know a school just doesn't care. Like they're letting us go 3-8.
They're like, we're gonna get our ass kicked by the Dakota schools and Youngstown State and Northern Iowa and whatever. We're here because Larry Bird put us on the map, and they basically don't give a shit about anything else. They were bad, all right, but there have been bad teams in the past that the Grizz haven't done that to. So progress, I guess. I like what they did. They did what they were supposed to do. And sometimes that's all you need, right? That's all you want. Um, if they would have won 35-30, I would have been really upset. But like I said last week, I got to enjoy some happy bourbons and kind of check out by halftime. So it was great.
No doubt. Uh, I think that the things that really, opponent aside, this is what Tutel and I are always talking about. All the schedules in the Big Sky this time of year and in the FCS basically are just completely disparate. You have just no idea like who is playing quality what. Like some teams are playing multiple FBSs and then also playing Lincoln, like Idaho State did, right?
Yeah.
Like they're 0-3 and then they win 90-0. How are you supposed to gauge like where we're even at, right? But I do think you've got to go eye test of the players and then the concepts. And I mean, holy shit, Ayat threw the ball to the middle of the field to a tight end on Saturday. That hasn't happened in years. So little things like that, and also just big things like rolling, momentum in a game, actually blowing a team out. Like I thought it all looked good, even if Indiana State's a subpar opponent.
Yeah, and as I said last week, Eli Gillman is the best running back that we've ever had. He is an incredible, incredible talent. What he does, the runs that he makes, Lex could not do, Chase could not do, Johansi couldn't do. Like that dude just all of a sudden shakes a guy and is gone. And for him to do what he does, like week in and week out, it gives me a lot of confidence in what this season can be. So as long as we can rely on that running game, great. And then the other thing to your point was, I said this in the text thread, this shouldn't be hard on Ah Yat this year.
Right.
It really shouldn't. Like he should have two guys trying to get Gillman on every play, two guys trying to bottle up Wortham on every play, and he should have one-on-one matchups with, the wide receiver du jour, whoever is hot, and then the tight end should always be open. And he found him on Saturday, and I was like, wow, this is exactly what I've been saying should happen, and they did it. And I'm like, holy shit, the coaches are listening to my pod. I love this.
So we're gonna try something new here. I'm gonna edit this part right here in a minute. I'm gonna edit a video in. But did you watch the post-game press conference?
Oh no, that I've heard about it.
No, it's okay. There was actually one insightful thing that was said. That was great.
Okay.
And it was Josh Gale. I asked him about that drive where Ayat had the check down to him in the middle of the field against the zone for like probably a 15 to 20 yard gain. And then later on through the touchdown to the right corner of the end zone to the north corner.
Yeah.
And he was wide open.
On the post corner?
Yeah. I asked him to break that down for me. And he said, well, the first down, I told Keali'i if he sees zone and he gets through his last read, come back to the middle of the field and I'll be wide open. So basically he's telling him like, hey, I'm reading this for you. I'll help you on this. And if that's what we see and that's what we've scouted, boom, I'm going to be wide open. I thought that was advanced analysis for him. We'll pause. I just thought that was advanced by Josh Gale. And
good for him. Good for him because he's a graduate transfer, right? So he should have seen everything that they're going to see and be able to help a young guy out. So I think that is great. I mean, when we played or when I played, by the time I was a senior, we were a very senior laden team, right? With a lot of guys on the line and skill positions, and we all helped each other out and helped the young guys out. So we knew what to expect. So if Gale sees something like that, like he mentions, that leads to success, I think that's good because he could not say anything and it could not work, right? So add a way to call it out and to get it done.
Well, the biggest compliment I could give them on offense is they looked like a modern offensive football team on Saturday. They ran modern concepts. They ran like combo routes with their tight ends, and they ran trips a couple times. They threw it to the inside guy,
which I did see Sammy's breakdown of that particular play for the touchdown on Twitter. I haven't watched the whole video. By the way, I need to get with him to find out what he uses for the breakdown. So I'm not giving you guys like little notes from my iPad with I should get with him and see what he uses.
This is Team Skyline Sports, baby.
That's right.
Let's have a three-way Zoom soon, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, but what they were doing, if you guys haven't seen that, is they're running a post corner with outside receiver running a post. And then the Gale running a corner, and then there's a swing out from the back, right? So guy runs a post, takes the safety with him. Gale runs that corner, and then the cover 2 corner that's sitting there has to choose between Gale and the back out of the backfield or Ah Yat sprinting that way. So the corner comes down, and he just has an easy pitch and catch for a touchdown. Like that right there is progression on your routes in a play. He could have, as a younger guy, just thrown the ball, like, and not known what to do, but he stayed calm, rolled out a little bit, like moved the pocket, hits a guy for a touchdown. That gives me like that. I hate to say this because we could, lose. We could lose the rest of the games this year. I don't know, but that right there gives me hope for what we're doing and what our max ceiling could be. Because if they can do that stuff, they can win a lot of games. They can be really good.
Another day, flavorless forage.
What in the heck is this magic? It smells intriguing. Could this be the answer to my lifelong struggle against bland wilderness cuisine? Okay, deep breaths. Don't get your hopes up, big guy.
Finally, a meal fit for a famished Bigfoot. Thank you, Alpine Touch. My Rocky Mountain adventures just got a whole lot tastier.
At Holloway and Hulling, we deliver the results that Griz fans deserve. If you've been charged with a criminal offense or a DUI, we will fight to defend your rights.
If you've been injured in an accident, we have the offense to get you the compensation you deserve.
Choose the right team. Choose Holloway and Hulling for proven criminal defense and personal injury legal services, a proud partner of Grizzly Athletics. Visit us soon at our new downtown location or check out our website for more information.
Thanks to our great friends at Holloway and Hulling Law. They proudly present Talkin Schmidt each week with Andrew Schmidt. They were voted earlier this summer best attorneys in Missoula. So if you need any sort of legal representation when it comes to criminal defense, personal injury, family law, DUIs, they can help you. Visit montanalawyers.net to find out more. The other part is that Ah Yat has gotten so much better in 3 weeks, and I think this is like the most vindicating thing. Andrew and I have this and also we have multiple people on this text thread that were on our side. But he and I were texting back and forth, and then we basically made this extrapolated information model, and Andrew did all the research and went through and scouted like 25 years worth FCS quarterback stuff, and we used this to argue with Brent amongst GFP guys. But what we're seeing here is what Marty Mornoweg has said on this show multiple times too. It takes time, but you got to let a young quarterback work through mistakes. And Marty always says it's the 20-40 rule. He used to always say by a guy's 20th start in the NFL, he'd start to turn a corner. And then by his 40th start, if he doesn't have it, 40 would basically be 3.5 years. If he hasn't turned a corner by then, he's trash. You got to get rid of him. But we are only to the 10 start right now. And we've seen rapid improvement the last couple of weeks. So I think vindicating for what we argued all year last year.
Well, yeah, and I mentioned it, I think, on the first episode that we did. Look, there's going back all the way to when the Griz played in the championship in 2004, right? All but 2 quarterbacks were like 3-year starters who started since like their sophomore year. That had long careers. They weren't like drop down guys who just played for 1 year or 1 year senior starter. That was what we brought into what we're referencing here from the Griz Fan Pod guys. Luke and Brent were saying that no, you can have anyone, and they were like, I went back and did the research, and then we even tweeted this out. It's vindicating because, look, if Ah Yat doesn't have it, like if he didn't have it, I would be the first one to say, look, you got to play the guy who does, who can learn, who can figure it out. Like otherwise, you have no chance of winning, or you have like 5% chance of winning, right? Like you can't have these senior only starters at quarterback. Um, uh, but it seems like he's getting it. And it would be great. It would be great. We can't go back. I can't fix the past. I always tell clients this, can't go back and fix the past. But it would be great if this were his 18th start and not his 8th start. Okay. We weren't dilly-dallying, wasting time last year, but here we are. We're here, and I think he's getting it. And we'll see what happens. He could be a monster of a player. We will see though.
He's going to start experiencing like what every quarterback goes through at both the college and pro level too, where now teams have seen his strengths, so they're going to try to start forcing him into his weaknesses. So then, can he push through it? Because it happens to everybody, right? You get this scheme that you're frustrated with, people are running it on you. Happened to Mahomes his second and third years. Happened to C.J. Stroud his second year. How does Ayat push through it? And then that comes back to then the coaches too. Like, how do they help him and make him push through? And I think that's going to be the next sort of evolution of him. But I don't know if we're going to see that for a little while. I think he's going to see a good defense on Friday or on Saturday though, with Idaho coming down.
Well, yeah. I mean, once the more tape people have on you, right, the more that they can analyze what you do, and the more they can zero in on exactly what you will do on each situation. I mean, I said this, I keep saying this week. I said this last week. In certain situations what teams and players do, right? X% of the time.
Sure.
Like, especially by the end of the year. But if you have years worth of tape, but like it's another thing. But like by the end of the year, if you have 10 games of tape on an opponent, like you'll know, hey, on third and short, this team runs this blitz this amount of time, right? And if they line up like this, then you know it's coming, right? So you'll know exactly what or have a very educated guess on what teams do on any given player formation. And you are drilled that stuff comes in your handout on Monday, right? You know exactly who's the corner to work in a critical situation, who's their weak spot on defense, who's their best player, what sacks or what blitzes they run, like everything, what coverages they run, do they run man, do they run zone X% of the time? What do they run when you're in this formation? You get that broken down for you on Monday. So like they'll have more stuff on Ayat for sure, and they'll know what he does good and what he does bad, and they'll try to trick him into different things. But we'll see. I mean, what's good about him is that he's seems to have a willingness to learn and learn from his mistakes. And if he gets into trouble, he also has a willingness to make plays with his feet. This year, he's been trying to like stay in the pocket and throw more, which I think has helped him a lot. But yeah, I mean, I think he'll be able to adapt and overcome because he's a player like that. He can improv and make plays, and I think he'll be able to keep growing as a player, and that should be to the Grizzlies' benefit.
If in a couple of years he becomes I think he's got like the All-American talent. He's just got to get there. But like if he became a first-team All-League type of guy and a All-American candidate by the time he's a junior and a senior, that wouldn't be crazy.
I'll make Roman Reigns inspired like merch, but for him as our tribal chief, and I will sell it and give the profits to him or something. I don't know if I can do that, but if he can do it, if he gets All-American status, oh my God, he's gonna turn into the meme of Roman Reigns. Acknowledge me, yes. Our Uso is gonna get all of that treatment. We'll create some merch for him.
If he does that though, then are we going to look back and give credit to these guys for slow playing it, and or will it always be criticism of them not playing him right away?
You know what? That's kind of hard because it's like, what would his trajectory have been had they played him earlier? Maybe it would have ruined him. I don't know. Something to be said for that. But I think they'll get credit for actually playing him. They could have just played Jensen this year, and they didn't. So I mean, credit to them for doing that. They could have brought back Logan Fife for another year, right? They didn't. So good for them on that.
Okay, so let's break this part down. You say Gillman's the most talented running back in Griz history. I'm not saying I confirm or deny this remark, Senator, but Lex Hilliard, Justin Green both got drafted in the NFL, and Chase Reynolds played in the NFL for 6 years. I think two things can be true at once. I think Gillman can be the most talented running back in Griz history and also not be league like those three guys were. What say you?
I think he's going to the league. Personally, I think he's a different dude. I think you can kind of tell that. You know what I think differences between a lot of those guys, like Alex and Justin were just like bigger than most people. Like,
well, they could play
Lex,
their position in the NFL. That's why they were fullbacks. Like Lex started at fullback in the NFL.
And physical specimens. You know, like
Absolutely.
they were big dudes. And I'm not saying that Gillman isn't, but those guys definitely stood out. Chase was probably the most determined, toughest player that I played with.
Yeah.
You know, that dude was tough. Like,
so tough.
I think in 2008, when he took the reins, he was playing like the last half of the season with a shoulder injury or something like that. And like,
I mean,
by the end of
played with that for like 3 years. I mean, that's
and he broke, he like broke a rib, and so he played with like a flak jacket, like a quarterback would, right? And like still got just drilled because he was so like small, but he played like he was so tough. And there's something to be said about determination. That dude was determined to not be let down, or not let anyone down, and to keep pushing. And that's why he made it in the NFL. Like no one was going to tell him no. I don't think he has or had the physical gifts that Gillman does. Like Chase was fast and a great player. Gillman's like step, like his burst off of a cut is, he should not be at Montana. He should not. And I think I remember hearing that the only reason he's at Montana is because his senior season got canceled because of COVID. And he had he came to a Montana camp and they offered him right away. And his mom was close with Bobby, and
and he shut down his recruiting right away.
Shut down his recruiting.
He was committed to the Griz before he won Minnesota, State Player of the Year. And then he got a bunch of offers, but he was already signed, still delivered to the Griz.
Yeah, and his mom, and I think and Bobby are kind of like the same ideologies, right? And he made a promise that he was coming, and so he came. He should not be here. He should be at Minnesota. Like
totally.
He should. His skill set is something that is not FCS, right? And as long as he has the offensive line play to help him out, which I'm still not completely sold on, he's going to have another monster year, and he's going to break every single record. If he stayed another year, he would put all the Montana records so far in the dust, and no one would ever catch him. So I think we should appreciate his time with us, because he should be at a Power 4 school, to be honest.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Right down the road, pump it up. Oh, yeah.
I wonder if that is because we keep talking about transfers, the NIL, all the great positions and players that are getting pulled out of the Big Sky and lured to greener pastures. And we've seen it actually probably most prevalently on the lines. You got the kid from Idaho State who went to Ohio State. You got the kid from Montana State who went to Michigan State. Riley Wilson, I guess, is an edge player. He's at Arizona. The running back part, though, it's like the opposite, because I think that there is this thing that is a draw. Like, you are the Minnesota Player of the Year. You could go to Iowa, you could go to Ohio State, you could go to Michigan, you could go to Minnesota, you could go to Wisconsin, and there's a chance you might not start. You go to Montana, and there's a huge chance you're going to be the man. But it's like we've seen the Washington Gatorade Player of the Year times two different running backs that came to the Big Sky, including Isaiah Fonse, who was basically like their most prolific running back ever.
And would have broken the rushing record had he not stupidly transferred to Cal.
To Cal, yeah.
You had Alonzo Gilliam at UC Davis, who was a 4-year starter. He scored like 60 touchdowns. He was the NorCal Player of the Year in high school. You had Josh Davis, who was a 4-year starter at Weber. He was the Utah Gatorade Player of the Year in high school. You got Gilman now, who's Minnesota Player of the Year, tearing it up at Montana. I just wonder if maybe that's one position where it's like a last frontier to keep the great guys. And Lan Larison at UC Davis, too, he's still playing for the Patriots. So, like, you got multiple guys that have gone there and known, hey, I'm going to be the man. I wonder if that's like a thing that could be a trend in the Big Sky.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like running back is a dime a dozen position, right? Like for the NFL, that's why they don't value him as high.
Totally.
And you can, as long as you have a good line, you spend more money on the line than you would on the running back.
Bro, what we always troll all of our fan friends, not just the Grizz fan podcast, all of our fan friends. We always say, "Oh, Montana's got good running backs. Congratulations." So does everybody. Like there's there's so many good running backs out there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of the guys in the running back room for Montana are quality dudes including shout out to Tommy Running Rabbit.
Yeah.
I think Luke said it really well in the GFP this week. That means a lot to Browning, and that means a lot to Native Americans in the state and on the reservation to see one of their own score a touchdown in Division I football. Like that means a lot, and that should be celebrated by the whole state of Montana. I think that's really cool. And to his point, I can't believe that he's not like a point guard for an NAIA school. Like I'm amazed because it's usually they all play basketball, and he stood out playing football and is now playing Division I football and scoring. And man, the support that he'll get from his tribe and from the native population and from the state is going to be crazy. I remember the Chavez days because I was like in high school, and I remember playing, or they had like a Class B tournament in Belgrade.
Yep.
And Chavez, they played there at Belgrade, and it was packed, all just supporting Chavez. I was like, that is the craziest thing I think I've ever been. I couldn't believe it was high school sports.
He was the like LeBron James of Montana, man. They used to show his games on public access television. Like we used to watch this being like, oh, let's turn on the Mike Chavez game. That's never happened for a basketball guy in Montana ever. And that's how big time he was.
And it's like people in Bozeman High were talking about the Chavez baseline spin move. And I was like, how do you guys know that? Like, that's how big he was. Anyway, get off tangent, but like that's if Tommy Running Rabbit keeps on progressing and is a player, expect that kind of support, because that is a huge, huge, huge deal, and it's awesome for the state of Montana. It's awesome for that tribe. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to what we were saying. So of all the running backs, I think that all the running backs are like good. I think Gilman though is like a different breed of that. Yeah. I think you can produce with a guy. You can't be breaking these school records and getting what is he at 9 yards a rush or something like that? Just crazy.
He's got 400 yards rushing on 40 carries right now.
I mean, how many touchdowns does he have of over like 40 yards already? It's
already.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
he's
like
2-3 touchdown games already.
Yes. So like I don't think that those guys grow on trees. So like there was that recruit that committed to Montana and ended up going to Fresno State. I don't know if he's played. It doesn't look like he's played. He's probably redshirting, or I think he's another one of those type of guys. Like he's a guy who could turn out good. I don't think he's a Gilman though. So, in terms of your question, long-winded way of getting back to it. I don't know. I could see FCS teams or FBS teams picking off running backs, good ones. I could see it mattering, not that much, I could see it mattering if they pick off a guy like Gilman, but a lot of these guys, they could pick them off. It's all going to depend on the O-line play at the end of the day. So yeah, we'll see. I think line matters more in college football.
Yeah, well, and there's also some sample sizes now of guys that were ridiculously good in the Big Sky transferring up and not playing. I mean, Afonso
was a fringe guy at Cal. He only rushed for like 400 yards. I think he scored like 5 touchdowns. Anthony Woods, who was a stud, first team all conference at Idaho. He transferred to Utah. He's like their fifth string guy. He hasn't seen the field. Scottrey Humphrey, who led the league in rushing last year at Montana State. He's toiling at New Mexico. I think he's their second or third string guy, but he's not their starter. So I think that also maybe pushes guys to stay too. I just think there's
but I mean, look, Humphrey was like the third best running back out of that, fourth best if you count Tommy Mellott, out of that team last year. So not surprising at that point. I mean, Julius Davis, right, and then Adam Jones, and then Tommy Mellott are probably all better.
Yeah, I just think that what I'm getting at is I think that there's a definitive path for Gillman to stay.
I guess it depends on how much money he gets paid, right? So like he could stay and have probably just the same, like if not better chances of making the NFL if he stays and keeps racking up monster numbers, right? He could also go to like a team like Minnesota or go to Iowa where they usually have good offensive lines and put up a monster year. And instead of a round 6 guy, he could be a round 2 guy, round 3 guy. I think that's the gamble that you would take. And these days it's going to depend on NIL and how much money you're getting. To be quite honest, like if you're comfortable in your living situation, I could see him staying, but if you need the money and you want to get as much money as you can on college because it's, your future is not guaranteed, I could see you going to the place with the biggest bag, wherever that may be.
Yeah. The last point I'll make on that is that I do think that what we just exchanged is both correct in terms of Lex Hilliard, Justin Green played fullback in the NFL back when that was actually a viable position to make an active roster, at least for some teams. And Chase Reynolds, tough as hell, but also was an ace special teams guy and also got on with Tom McMahon when Tom McMahon was in St. Louis, and that really helped open the door for him. McMahon, of course, from Helena. So I think that Gillman would have to make the NFL as a running back, and I think that is way harder than making it as a fullback or as a
I agree.
Play special teams, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if anyone can do it out of that mold, he could. Like I'd be interested to see what his combine numbers will be. Because if he runs a 4.3, 4.4, if he has a 4 flat 20-yard shuttle,
right,
like he's gonna get some run because guys like that don't just fall off the turnip truck or whatever the saying is. Like those guys aren't around a lot. So if you can pick up a guy like that who can run, I think someone's gonna take a chance on you.
Hello, my name is Keali'i Ah Yat, quarterback at the University of Montana. In the off-season, it's important to do everything you can to prepare for the season. In high school, that means funding your program. In my experience, Vertical Raise is the ultimate online fundraiser platform. Now broaden your reach of your fundraiser and bring in more money than other platforms. And there are no sneaky or hidden fees like other companies. If you're trying to raise money for your program, reach out to Vertical Raise today.
So will you marry me in your future? Or maybe you do it all over again? Hi, I'm Brian Toon with Jewelry Design Center, inviting you to come see the largest selection of Will You Marry Me in the state of Montana. The brightest diamonds of every shape and size, unique settings built to last, and skilled jewelers on site offering free sizing and maintenance for life, because that's how long we want to be your jeweler. Jewelry Design Center in Missoula, on Brooks, across from the Montana.
So Idaho doesn't have the Cats; they only have Montana, and then they didn't play Montana forever because they were tired of losing to Montana when Montana was still 1AA and they went 1A.
Didn't they lose like 4 straight when they were an FBS team?
I didn't even remember like 6, man.
It was like 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, and then they stopped, or it was 2003, something like that. It's like, why would you schedule? It's funny. Why would you schedule your rival who's a FCS team when you're FBS? So they stopped, and now their fans are begging the AD of Boise State to schedule them because they want that rivalry. So I don't know. You figure it out.
But it's a big game for both sides, but it's a bigger game for Idaho just in terms of that element, right? They want a rival so bad they think of Montana as their rival. So, what do you think of that? Like, I mean, it is sort of a revival of olden times, but it hasn't really been that in the newer times. Although Idaho did win at Washington Grizzly Stadium last time they were there.
Yeah, I mean, they probably need it more. As all the Grizz fans, like a lot of them hate Idaho, and I was not around for it because in 2003, when Tom Cable was their head coach, who coached with my dad at San Diego State, when he was their head coach, they got beat because Kyle Sampson was running the option because they
Right.
Grizz Oaks and Disney both got knocked out, so they were running and Justin Hartman. And they beat Idaho, crushed them, and they're like, why would we schedule Montana anymore? So, like, 2004 until what, 2018, whenever they came back in the Big Sky, we didn't play them. So I have no, all I know is that my friends, some of my best friends went to Boise State, played for Boise State. They would always call them DAV, the dog ass Vandals. And they beat them all the time so hard that now they haven't scheduled Idaho. So that's what I know of Idaho. They're the dog ass Vandals. I'm sure this means a lot to them. They want the Stein back. I have no interaction with the Stein, but all I know is that I hope the Grizz win every game and I hope we keep it because, screw Idaho.
There's certainly Grizz people of a certain age that hate Idaho way more than anybody. Like
Yeah.
those 80s guys that played for the Grizz hate Idaho for sure. I think a lot of cat guys that played back then do too. Okay, give us your latest Schmidt Storm. Talkin Schmidt presented by Holloway and Hulling.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
Schmidt Storm.
There it is. Pop country. Colter, what are we doing? There was a time, okay, when country music meant something, okay? Guys like Glenn Campbell and George Strait and Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings, okay? When, country was a little bit dangerous and was filled with tough people, what do we have now? I'm looking at this. Morgan Wallen, Waylon, Zach Bryan, Luke Combs, Jelly Roll. Who is the I'm Not Okay? Like, what are they on? What are they sad about? Post Malone. And you know what? I blame Kid Rock, okay? Because he was a substandard rapper from Detroit who all of a sudden thinks that he's going to be country and sings a bunch of shitty songs, and then he gets paid for it and has a Nashville bar. And all these other people are like, I can make shitty songs too. And they all of a sudden are successful. I can't name one of these songs. Like, what happened to Post Malone? Like, from Rockstar and Beer Bongs and Bentleys to what is he doing now besides being skinny and sad, singing with Jelly Roll? These guys are basically what happened was the bands like My Chemical Romance and Fall Out Boy and The Used and Panic at the Disco, they turned into Morgan Wallen. Okay, and they turned into Luke Bryan and Combs and Poop Town. It is awful. And if you want to go back and look at the lyrics like from Brooks and Dunn and George Strait, where it actually meant something, okay? That was when country was good and strong and it was actually worth listening to. And now you're actually just listening to sad sax sing emo music with a slide guitar. And that's this week's Schmidt Storm.
Schmidt Storm.
That's Luke Bryan.
That's actually a short sounder. There's actually a longer one.
There's two Luke Bryan songs they play at both Montana and Montana State games that I am actually convinced are the two worst songs in the history of music.
Awful.
Ever written. Yeah, I think that Country Girl Shake It For Me song. I think it's the worst song in the history of time. Like if you were to ask AI to write you the most garbage song that would make you look like the biggest cliche loser you could, That's the song that
There's a tell here. If you go on Instagram or TikTok, which Montanans, I don't know if you can access TikTok, and you look at the AI created fake gay country songs, like where it's just like the lyrics are just about gay activity, but they sound like country songs. Those are kind of hard to tell whether they're AI or not. And the reason why is because all new country songs suck and sound like that. It's awful. The whole thing is just a grift of guys trying to be country and act like they are from out in the wilderness or the country, and they're not. They're just sad sacks singing about not being all right, and that's it. It's awful. I cannot listen to one more person transform into a fake country singer and sound exactly like the rest of them, a Jason Aldean. Grow up. All of you guys, grow up. You guys are awful.
That's this week's Schmidt Storm.
Yeah,
Talkin Schmidt. I gotta go. I gotta go do some high school football interviews, but good to see you, buddy. We'll touch base next week, but thanks for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care.